Thank you everybody for joining us once again here. Back again, we're watching the Overwatch Collegiate Cup. This will be our round of 32. We just got to watch as UTD played off against the University of California, Riverside. We did take that 3-1 victory. Every match today is going to be a single elim. Whenever you lose, you are out. But I am joined today by Hector. How you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. I'm not Avery, but I'm the close replacement. I can at least provide some casting tonight or today. I don't even know what time it is at this point, but we're kind of starting things off here. What do you think they're going to be running on the side of UTD? I know we saw them kind of defaulting back to their main in the last set. What do you think would be good on this map?
Yeah, absolutely. I think UTD has always proven to be extremely comfortable in their composition that they like to run, the meta composition. Mei, McCree, Lucio Bap, Reinhardt, and Diva. We saw that they kind of struggled when they were switching off of that during the last match when they decided that they needed to run something different, but being able to play it on this map, I think, will play to their strengths here.
Yeah, and I mean, right off the rip, we already see Ohio State running the Far Mercy. I think that can be a little difficult, but I mean, Blank is no short of a great sniper with his right click as well, so I'm not too concerned with Arrow and Blank both on there. But UTD doing a good job of already pressuring point here, and we got some flanks from the side of Performance on the Tracer.
Exactly. UTD, they just want to take a point presence here, wait for this point to unlock and keep everybody safe until then. Grab trying to build up as much of this ultimate charge as they can, but Inspire doing a good job of relieving the UTD squad, losing out on that ultimate charge. Looks like Potato's going to try to initiate here, but doesn't quite have the health pool or the follow-up to get that damage in. Will continue to spin around the point just long enough to make UTD not be able to capture it, but UTD in the end should be able to capture this point, especially off the back of that pick onto Performance here. Grab already has this barrage online, but is going to get denied immediately.
And that's what we're going to try looking for this set. I mean, Tinspire is really going to have to stick to the far up grab because we just want to deny that every point. And at this on this point specifically on the map, there's very high points where you can ult from, but when you're inside of this little ring, it's pretty easy to shut them down fast.
Exactly, and I mean, the Pharah, even though she can build up that barrage really quickly, that ultimate is so risky every single time you go for it, especially when you're up against a diva like Tinspire.
Yeah, definitely. And then you have the pillar in the middle of the point to kind of dance around. I think there's a difficult time for Pharah to play on this map, but I mean, if you're good on her, it proves to be effective. We got Arrow already going for that Deadeye, but Performance shutting him down instantly with that pulse bomb, doing a great job poking down Tinspire in the backline as well.
Right, the main damage dealer is gone for the side of UTD. They do get him walking back out of the spawn, but he will be a while back onto this point. Looks like Louis has the Shatter in hand, but he's getting pressured by everybody from the side of Ohio State. Their Performance putting in tons of damage has almost built up an entirely new pulse bomb since the beginning of that point. But Arrow, oh my goodness, coming in with the quick kill onto Performance, will not be able to get resurrected out. That resurrection will be canceled there. Echo just trying to keep everybody alive, but UTD, they still have control of the point right now. They're building up that percentage, and they have 60 on the clock. Everybody back alive for UTD, and the picks coming in left and right.
Just like you mentioned, I think UTD doing a great job of staggering picks here. Echo, Eski, all spawning in, staggered off the point, and at this point, 73, 74, ticking down. I just want to see a regroup from Ohio State here. I think this staggering play in and out is resulting in probably way too much percentage loss on this point.
Yeah, it's going to be a last fight scenario here, and they do have a couple ultimates to work with, but they did invest a lot in that last fight. In UTD, they've got so much available as well. Grab it is going to be up to their rocket barrage here to try to open things up for them. Arrow gonna try to...
5 ults on the side of UTD here. I mean, it's going to be insanely hard to push in here. Arrow not able to get a kill with that, but Louis dropping the Shatter only onto Potatoes. You wanted him dead fast. Grab instantly traded out, and we are going to see a Skull-X and Blink ult stacked on top of each other.
Oh no, that's so unfortunate. Yon sitting there trying their best to eat that Mei ult from Blake, but not gonna pay off. Arrow cleaning things up, and that is a 1-0 lead for UTD.
No, I think there was a valiant effort there from Ohio State. I think the DPS were doing a great job of kind of picking off targets. I do think, however, that UTD was really capitalizing on having Tinspire there to essentially just eat everything that Grab sent towards him. And so we'll see if they keep running the Pharah on this next point. But I do know that it's a little more condensed of a space down there on the point, so it might be a little harder to run Pharah.
Exactly. This next point is probably the most favoring to UTD's composition here. As soon as you step foot onto that point, that is where Mei wants to play. That is where her walls are going to be the most effective here.
Quick TP out of spawn. We'll see if Grab ends up switching, but it looks like never mind. Grab's going to stay on that Symmetra for this point. Pretty good just to get kind of a microwave going on the point, and it can catch some people off guard, especially when there's a lot going on. But Arrow and the team of UTD taking the high ground here as Ohio State's already on the point.
Exactly. Looks like Ohio State, they do get the control early on, but Arrow with the flank onto the backline has already dropped Echo, the main source of healing for the side of Ohio, and that is going to buy them a lot of advantage into this next point. Arrow tries to find more, but is unfortunately caught off in the backline. No protection available for him, but I think UTD has gotten all they need. As Performance just sitting here blank, trying to finish things out, and it looks like they will be able to do that.
And right there, I mean, something that we might have missed, it was super important. Louis on the top, since they were all up top over there, comes from behind them and ends up pinning one right off the rip when Arrow gets that pick, instantly making it a 6v4 in UTD's favor. And at that point, they just need to finish off the kills and reset.
Right, Louis already 66 onto his Shatter. As a result of that, it looks like Performance has dropped the wall just long enough to buy them control of the point. That will be 18% for UTD, but UTD, they want to come strong back into this point. Looks like Potato's not going to let that happen. Forces Louis straight off that point with those rocket charges. Has Shatter in hand, but probably will not need that here as UTD just backs off.
Yeah, great wall from Performance there to flip the switch on that one, give the point over to Ohio State, and they managed to just pick off everyone one by one. Staggering off Tinspire right here, which is just super detrimental, and a fantastic wall to make sure they get that kill.
Things you hate to see for 500 right there. Tinspire is finally going to die, but it looks like Ohio State, they do have the advantage on point, 33%. Lots of ultimates in hand for both teams. This is going to be the critical fight.
Yeah, this fight's really going to determine a lot. I mean, there's two sides, or rather, there's about to be 6 ults on the side of UTD here in a second. We'll see if this gets anyone. Louis doing a good job of blocking that for his team in Kinetic, getting a quick pick onto Performance, leading into Louis' Shatter on point, but a fantastic Shatter from Potatoes to stop that push, and we see a Rhine-on-Rhine action right here as Louis goes on the pin for Performance.
Looks like Eski's gonna keep everybody up. That drop the beat is being crucial to keeping everybody alive and healthy, but UTD just stalls that out, pushes aggressively in, and completely wipes the point. Both the Reinhardts landing a massive Shatter onto the backline, but UTD takes it in the end.
Yeah, that was a fantastic Shatter on the side of Potatoes to counteract that aggression, but at that point it was almost too late. A lot of UTD DPS getting in the back, landing, doing that damage while they were down from Louis' Shatter as well. We are seeing 70% on the side of Ohio State, so they're not in a huge rush here, but it would be nice for them to get this win on this fight and instantly make UTD one last fight scenario.
Exactly. Once again, using this teleporter to their advantage. The wall comes out, but it is going to be the Mei Cryo Freeze that's forced. They do need to step onto this point. That will be where Performance's Mei Freeze will be best, but Arrow has already found the pick onto Potatoes, continuing to take control, dropping onto the point here. Has almost built up his high noon, but the Mei Freeze has caught out everybody from UTD, and a kill onto Echo with the Deadeye is probably going to secure things here. UTD, they definitely needed this fight. It's going to be 56% on their side, but Ohio State, they're only going to need one more fight after this.
Exactly, and I mean, that was a great fight from UCD. I mean, there's going to be one fight left. We did mention that Ohio State actually did flip the point, if you didn't notice that entire time, so they got 20% more on the point. One more fight for them, and they'll just about win the entire point. So let's see UTD getting an aggressive angle here. Louis with the Shadow, we gotta look for that one.
Oh, and it comes
Huge.
down onto 3 members, make it 4 on the side of Ohio. Diva Bomb pushing everybody back and not going to be able to be blocked by Blank. He is going to fall. No DPS remaining for the side of UTD, and that is going to be tragic here. Eski pushing everybody forward with the speed boost and the drop the beat, and this might just spell defeat for UTD on this point. All they can do is try to touch at the last second here.
Poor Skolix just getting pushed down from the Diva and the Lucio chasing him all the way back 97%. We are going to see a Reaper touch on the side of Blank, but almost dead instantly, and Grab kind of holding down that fort on the left side.
Oh, he does manage to stall it out long enough for UTD to get there, but it is not going to matter. In the end, Ohio has the resources, they have the picks, and that is going to tie up our series 1-1.
Yeah, I mean, that was a fantastic shatter on the side of Louis early on in that last engagement, but sadly UTD wasn't able to follow up on that, and Potatoes and his squad was able to just roll in, take the point, and secure that second round.
Exactly, and I mean, let's just talk a bit about Potatoes here. He's putting in so much work for his team, not only being able to counteract some of those shatters with his own shatter, but also just like preventing a lot of that follow-up damage almost entirely on his own there.
Yeah, most definitely. And I mean, shout out to Eski and Echo as well, doing a great job of peeling for those tanks, peeling for the DPS and healing and pumping them to stay alive during those fights. It's been super important, and Eski's been fantastic on that Lucio booping targets off of their own teammates.
Exactly. Rolling into Sanctum here, we do see a similar composition to last match for UTD, pulling out Tinspire on the Sigma. Gonna try to protect their DPS a little bit more here, get more shielding, but it looks like the side of Ohio is pressuring forward. They've got the double sniper lineup, and they want to play that range to their advantage.
Just a quick 1-2 trading, just damage, building ult percentage slowly. Grab already at 30%, but that doesn't really mean too much as Louis pushes in with that, and a nice little saucer to keep everyone alive. But it's basically just Reinhardt's trading blows with both the Fire Strike and the hammers.
Right, Louis does have a bit of a shield disadvantage here. Performance has already picked off Kinetic here, and that is gonna make UTD have to back up here. They know that they can't invest anything more, especially with Tinspire being booped off the map their last second. UTD, they're gonna have to give this one up.
Yeah, and I mean, there was an Echo ult from there, so, or rather, Echo's ult, not Echo ult, but that's crucial. I think it was good to push them off the point, but Skolex actually having the ult for this next fight could prove to be what turns the tides.
Exactly. They do have a window of their own that does open up the fight for them quite well. It looks like they want to get in without that, though. Tinspire popping his Sigma ultimate as well. Eski's taking out Louis, though. That is a bit of an overcommit. Eski taking another life. That is just spelling complete and utter defeat for UTD here, carrying the fight on their own.
Yeah, nice little wall for Blank to prevent any further kills, but just a quick reset on the side of UTD needs to happen. Fantastic boops on the side of Eski, I will say, to get Louis off the rip and then follow that with a kill onto Skolex, I believe. Fantastic work on the Lucio from Ohio State.
Exactly. Oh, UTD, they do manage to wall off Potatoes there, but he is saved by the damage onto the wall. Arrow, though, not going to be able to say the same for Grab, is going to fall to that high noon. And Eski once again trying to boom. Oh, not quite getting it that time, but it looks like Ohio State, they do have a few picks to work with in this fight as well. UTD trying to slowly push their way towards this point, but they don't have enough resources. Potato with that rocket hammer just completely cleaning up this fight.
And I mean, Performance is doing a great job of getting random picks at the beginning of fights and kind of staggering off UTD in a 5v6 immediately. And with that dragon that he got that one pick, I think Tinspire really needs to lock down. Try eating that dueling dragons from the side of Hanzo, and we'll see what they do here. But a window down from Skolex. Kinetic also dropping the beat. We'll see how this fight ends up.
Right, that is so much support on the side of UTD here. They do buy themselves a pick onto Performance. No random picks this fight, at least, and that should be a flip, but not at the cost of the entire percentage. 99% on the board. This is going to be a tough hold for UTD.
Yeah, and look at the ults on the side of Ohio State. Grab, Eski, Echo, all having those ults. I mean, stack those on top of each other, and it's probably going to spell defeat for the side of UTD, but you never know. Arrow coming in with the ult as well, so that could be a huge ult to look out for.
All right, this is the critical fight here. This will decide if UTD can hold it. The beat drop coming in and another pick.
Oh.
Once again, Eski always finding these critical boot picks, and that is just going to steamroll, snowball, a push, and overtime slowly ticks down as Ohio State looks at the UTD spawn doors. This is gonna be a 2-1 victory for Ohio State on Nepal.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I don't know for you, but Eski was probably the MVP for sure. Those boops on almost every point, honestly, was phenomenal, and providing such great healing to the team as well. Just a fantastic job.
Right, I mean, you can even see here, no, Louis just barely slipping off with that, and the beat to keep it alive as well. I mean, you typically think of Lucio and support characters in general kind of as these, they're just kind of on the sidelines. They're just kind of like, they're healing the team, they're doing their job or whatever, especially for a character like Lucio, but they can be so much more, and Eski showed that to us today. And I think UTD, they're gonna have to make some adaptations here going into the next map if they want to make this work against Ohio State.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, do you foresee UT Dallas switching up the composition, or do you think more just the dynamic of the team and how they actually end up rotating and playing around each other?
Right. I think that this next map is going to be kind of critical to what we see going forward here. We know a lot of teams are very comfortable. We often see Kings Row. We'll probably see that coming up here as next. I believe it is going to be UTD's pick. And if that is the case, UTD is probably just going to stick to what they know, what they're comfortable with. This is going to be their best time. If they can win with this composition, Kings Row is definitely going to be where that is for them. And maybe, I mean, the fact that there's not nearly as many places to get booped off will probably help a little bit.
Yeah, most definitely. But I mean, Ohio State, like you mentioned, taking Nepal, I think that was just a fantastic performance from them. I don't think UT Dallas necessarily played poor in any regards, but I think Ohio State really pushed the aggressive play, and that Lucio was just able to boop so many people off the edge. Kinetic not being able to do so to counteract that, but I think I don't personally think that that was UTD's fault necessarily.
Yeah, and I mean, fantastic performance. Let's talk about performance a second because he's
Yeah.
also putting in so much work during these fights. He's got, especially for that second round, or the last round rather, on the Hanzo, just constantly putting pressure on the shield. And you don't really get to see that all that often. You do see the random picks that he's getting, and you do see the openings to these fights, but all during that, he's also putting down 125 damage arrows into the shield constantly. And that's just making Louis' job so much harder in these fights, making the healers' jobs so much harder during these fights. And it's really kind of like playing in the favor of Ohio State.
Yeah, most definitely. And I don't know, maybe that pick caught UT Dallas off guard. Performance was on the tracer in the previous two rounds, so potentially that was a little detrimental to what they were running. But it seems like we are going to be going into Kings Row for this next map, which, like you mentioned, is one of UT Dallas's strongest maps for sure.
Exactly. And I mean, UTD, they've got to make this work. We talked about this last map a little bit, or rather last match a little bit. UTD, I think they are very strong at making this one comp adapt to many different playstyles that they go against. But it's kind of difficult when a lot of these collegiate teams are bringing their own individual strength as well, right? You have these teams that you might have not as many options for players and stuff, but these players that you do have options for could be an incredible specialist in one hero, or could be an incredible like have a ton of synergy with one specific playstyle. And Collegiate, I think, is one of the best spaces to watch Overwatch because of that. You get to
Yep.
see so many creative things. It's not just always meta, it's not just always whatever these teams are supposed to be playing, and that's just what makes it exciting.
Exactly, exactly. But going into this next one, like you mentioned, I think we're going to see a pretty similar comp, if not the exact same comp from the side of UTD. I'm kind of interested to see what Ohio State run here. I know they did run the Pharah initially. It could be a decent pick into here, but also the Hanzo was fantastic on the side of performance. So I think regardless, but it does look like, oh, Blanks actually might go Sombra here.
Ooh, we'll see if we stick with that. I know that he does like to
Potentially just
get a
peeking the
little,
window.
just a little bit of scout, just on don't get to see what they're running, and get a little bit of information while you're at it. But Kings Row, definitely going to be a Reinhardt map, always and forever in my heart, at least. Just even during non-Reinhardt metas, will be a Reinhardt map. And so Potatoes pulling out the Reinhardt again. We know that Louis has been getting pretty big shatters as well, and we'll see if that we can get a bit more of that.
Yeah, I mean, this map for me, I'm a Reinhardt main as well. So King's Row, Lijiang Tower, those are my two all-time favorite maps for sure. But like you mentioned, it does look like we're gonna see on the side of Ohio State, the DPS, McCree, and that May as well on UTD, the same exact thing.
Right.
Mirrored comps on both.
You do get to see a little bit of what is meta here. These walls are what you need to be looking out for here. We'll see if we can see a split off from the team. Looks like Potato's going to slip out of Blank's Maywall for the moment. Grab looking to get a Maywall of his own, but has already committed it there. Lots of ultimates just being slowly built up over time. Look to see these Baptiste's ultimate. Skullix is already almost at his window as well. 80%, make it 90 here as UTD slowly aggresses to the point. Following forward, it looks like Grab is going to get a little bit of a flank and try to pressure back Arrow, but is going to get out in time there. Both of the Reinhardts are going to fall, and this makes it an all-out brawl between the DPS for now. Arrow trying to put in the damage, but Performance forcing him back with the High Noon, and Eski getting another critical pick.
Yeah, Eski doing a fantastic job, just like in the last set, pressuring out that DPS and playing more aggressive than UTD might be expecting. Probably just gonna wait for Louis on the Reinhardt to push out of that pedestal right here and see what they can do.
Oh, they don't want to let that happen. They're going to try to push around this pillar to get them caught off, but they do manage to regroup with everybody. Looks like Arrow's High Noon is going to be denied in the end, but a big beat is going to try to push forward the side of Ohio State. Counter beat from Kinetic is going to keep everybody alive, but it looks like UTD, they do finally have some pressure moving forward here. Potatoes already having fallen there means no more shield, no more rocket hammer damage, and UTD, they should have this point on lock.
Yeah, I mean, right there we see Grab and Eski comboing just like Blink and Kinetic, so both the May and the Lucio ults dropped at the same time from both teams, but it did look like UTD just had more damage and better picks to win that fight over and get the payloads rolling.
Right, I mean, just talking about the Baptistes here, looking at the damage, it looks like they're almost taking more damage away, but in a good way. Skolix has been consistently building his window faster than Echo so far in this match.
Yeah, that is definitely true. And I don't know necessarily if that's just a poke coming out of Ohio State doing a basically just feeding into Skolix's ult, but we are going to see a trade right here. Great flashbang leads into a fat shatter from Potatoes on the side of UTD, swinging his hammer, getting 3, and pushing UTD back into their spawn.
Louis, you went for that one last time and it worked out so well. What happened this time? It looked like it just got blocked there, and then Potatoes was ready. They were sitting there with the shatter in hand, just completely 6 men on the floor, full wipe.
And right there, Tinspire, unless he's out of mech, also used his ult, which is quite unfortunate because we didn't see any pick from that. So both ults on the side of the UTD tanks are going to be down, and they're going to be pushing in with Skolix's ult.
Oh no, but a blinking High Noon in the backline. Performance taking out Arrow. No reaction there available for them, and Potatoes does find a bit of a pick forward, but is going to trade his life in the end for that. I think that Ohio State, even though they did get a few initial picks, might just have to back out here. UTD does have the spawn advantage.
Most definitely, but we do see like Echo wants to stop that. Doesn't look like they want to pressure back too much, but both the tanks and Arrow kind of just rolling down SK and eventually Grab, leading UTD to just continue rolling this cart slightly past the corner and probably just going to wait until they touch the first point.
Right, where you take these fights is so important because depending on how far, especially in the second point here, you might just have a spawn disadvantage or advantage, and that let UTD get their resources back quicker to push in as a full 6 man, and now they have the pressure.
Louis going on kind of a short flank, but he might get punished for it. Ends up charging, but a great... Oh my god, there's so much going on. Echo and Lucio going down, but also not being able to get killed. Kinetic doing a great job of getting the pick on Echo, and it looks like UTD is going to be able to cap that first point.
Exactly. Blink dropping the Mayfreeze there is going to lock Potatoes in place, not only for the pin, but also for the shatter to follow it right after that. Everybody going down. This is going to be a one fight for the side of UTD.
And there was just so much commotion going on there, but in the meantime, I mean, we still see 3 ults on the side of UT Dallas. Could be comboed here. Obviously, probably don't want to stack both of the healer ults, but a High Noon out of performance, kind of pushing down UT Dallas. And another shadow from Potatoes, not able to get any picks for it, which is quite unfortunate. And we're just going to see a reset on the side of UTD, kind of resetting this fight and maintaining that aggressive push right here.
Oh, but UTD, they want to turn things back on the side of Ohio State. They pop the high noon and the beat to try to get some aggressive advantage here. Window also allowing Arrow to poke through with that double damage, but it looks like Performance is on the flank. Oh no, Performance, where have you gone? You're off the map. It's not going to work out. That flank is just going to push you down. Skullx gets the pick onto Eski. No boops to come from that, but it looks like UTD, despite all that, does still have to back down.
Yeah, quite unfortunate. Basically, full team dump on the ults for Ohio State. But, I mean, we saw it once. Performance got the flank, got the kills on that window. But he does it once more, not able to get the pick this time, and does get shut down instantly.
Right, I mean, looking forward, this is a big fight without almost any ults to come up. We have Blank coming up on his freeze, but it's going to have to come up quickly if they want to get any value out of this. Looks like they're just poking neutral game right now, looking to break the shields. Finally, Arrow does build up that high noon. He's going to take the mech out with that. Performance off on this flank once again. Not quite getting punished for it this time, but also not quite getting the value he's looking for either. And in the meantime, Potatoes and Echoes are going to fall as a result. Looks like they only have 2 more minutes remaining to take this push, but UTD is in a very strong position to finish this Kings Row third point. All that Ohio State can do is try to stall the last second with this Diva mech, with this May freeze. Try to get some value out of that, but a Shatter is not going to let that happen. UTD capping here in just a second, it looks like. Don't hold me to that because it looks like the Tracer's stalling it, but 1 minute and 40 seconds on the clock for UTD.
And that was still a good push. I mean, 1 minute, 40 seconds is probably not exactly what UTD wanted, but regardless, getting all 3 points here is fantastic on Kings Row. And I mean, we've seen some quick shutouts on that first point and not even capping and rolling that payload. So we could see that out of UTD on the defense here, but we'll see if they run the same compositions. I'm assuming that would be the case. And we'll see. Maybe Ohio State can come out of those doors blazing and quickly roll over that first point, which would very much help them in the time bank.
Exactly. I mean, Ohio State has definitely had their moments of shine, right? And it looked like UTD almost kind of flipped the momentum on there, starting in that second point fight. Remember when they were kind of staggered out there and UTD kind of took advantage of that? That's when things started to change in favor of UTD. And if they can continue that, this will look very, very good for their side. But Ohio State, they're very definitely putting up a good match.
Yeah, I think UT Dallas is doing a great job of playing neutral after Ohio State is dumping those ults. We saw it on the side of Potatoes and Performance, both ulting and not getting a single pick on the side of UT Dallas. So I think they're doing a great job of playing a little more back once they're getting pressure from Ohio State and instantly flipping the switch, like you mentioned, going on the aggressive foot and getting those picks to keep rolling the payload.
Ooh, a little bit of a cheeky composition here. It's not the first time we've seen Bastion today, but it looks like Grab wants to put Performance up on a little bit of a pedestal, maybe get them off by surprise here. Blank will be there ready, and it looks like Tinspire has taken control of this high ground. Maybe that's what the Ohio State wanted here, but they are going to still get this high ground in the meantime, slowly set up this Bastion, try to get some value out of that. Usually all they can do is kind of bunker away and prevent Ohio State from touching on the point.
Yeah, they're just kind of going to chill in that hotel, be a little chill, and just wait until they start capping the point. But I think UTD kind of switching over to that almost attack positioning. And they do catch Potatoes off the map. Blank able to secure that kill for the team. And the Bastion, Sigma, and Mercy rotating onto the statue and taking possession of that as they just rail down onto the point. Louis Shield instantly going down. But, I mean, Performance, I think this is a big positioning from him.
Oh no, and it looks like even though they lost Potatoes early on into that point, Performance just puts out so much damage in UTD. They can't expect that damage coming through. And it looks like Arrow, all they can do is try to load up for one last push onto this point. Louis has to make the touch here, but Performance is sitting there waiting for him. Has the Bastion 450 DPS coming through. It looks like this might just be a set push for Ohio.
And it's so hard. I mean, right there, Ohio State getting the point and basically just cleaning up UT Dallas. Performance absolutely just rotating around the map with grabs, teleporters. I mean, it's so hard for UT Dallas to really do anything and calm exactly where he is at all times, because he'll just drill into them, break Louis' shield, kill Arrow on the side of the map. I mean, this is going to be difficult.
Right. I mean, they're taking a risk by going with this Bastion pick, but it is absolutely paying off so far. 4 minutes and 35 seconds. That is more time than UTD had taking their push. UTD, though, they do have a few ultimates to try to fight back with this, though. And it looks like they've been spotted out in this top corner. They have to make a great escape here with this teleporter, and it looks like Performance has done a double take. He's already back in the back line of UTD. UTD doing a good job of zoning for the moment and taking names while they're at it here. Mercy trying to get a res off onto Echo in the back line. This fight isn't over quite yet. Potatoes wants to finish it off, and they do a good job of turning it all around. UTD losing their members left and right.
Oh, Potatoes getting a 3K with his ult, going full monkey mode on him, shoving them into the wall. And I think UT Dallas is going to end up touching the point right here at the very end, but it's going to be a difficult fight. Blank switching over to that Reaper just to chunk into that Bastion and the Winston.
Exactly. This is the most critical fight of this point. If they can hold them here, they will have such a long walk all the way back to the point. Potatoes is going to get caught out a little bit here, and Arrow is going to use that immortality field, rather the double damage matrix, to one tap Eski in the back there. Looks like they have the beat as well. They need to commit to this fight. They need to take this win, and it looks like they will get just that so far. Looks like Ohio, they really want to back off and reset for the moment, and Potatoes pulling out the monkey once again. 2 more picks, make it almost 3 here onto the back line, and Ohio, such a great job of kiting UTD there.
Yeah, and I mean, that would have been a fantastic ult on the side of Tinspire, but Grab's ult literally negating all the damage for that. Potato able to re-engage the instant that that Diva Bomb explodes, and that will spell disaster for UT Dallas as Ohio State 4 minutes 15 seconds already rolling into this last point strong with the Bastion up top.
Exactly, the Mercy Pocket to keep him strong all throughout it here. He's taken a little bit of a high ground position. We'll see if they can contest that. Blank back onto the May for the moment, but Potatoes, they just want to push away UTD. They've bunkered into this little corner, just waiting for their time to strike, and that is it. Louis puts down one person. Echoes goes down on the side of Ohio State, but Louis falls down further there. Potatoes, that big monkey primal ultimate is going to just put in so much work. He does get melted in the end there, but UTD, they are losing members left and right. This is Ohio's fight to lose right now.
Gulex dropping that window, seeing if they can get, maybe just fight Ohio back, making sure that they're not able to get any more meters closer to that last point. But I think they did a great job there, able to re-engage, and I think UT Dallas, 6 members strong here, are looking to take this fight, starting with Arrows on Performance, drilling into Potatoes' shield, and Ohio State is on the back foot with Potatoes diving in as a desperation call, and UT Dallas claiming their point and their footing back in this.
No speed boost to get away with Bastion, and he's got an unmech from that turret form. It just allows Arrow to find that pick early on. This is finally the footing that they've been wanting. 3 minutes, though, from the side of Ohio to try to take this point, and they've got a few ultimates to work with as well. Jan popping the Gravitic Flux here. He's going to catch Louis up in the high ground. Half of his health immediately gone, and the pin to follow it up as well. All that damage means that Louis is down. Looks like Potato's gonna drop the shatter as well. Is gonna catch Tinspire, trying to get that remake off with that Diva Bomb. Does catch one pick, but will die in the end. And Potatoes, all they need to do here now is continue this push, continue this rush out as UTD, if they get the respawn back in.
Yeah, I mean, the positioning from Louis here is crucial. Is looking for that pin, but able to just get spotted out. Potatoes kind of pushing them back, and they're on the back foot. The ultimate coming out of Grab, Performance rather, in his ult, barreling down onto the Echo, and it is looking bad for the side of UT Dallas here.
Oh no, that window just completely pressuring Louis. He does manage to get out alive this time, but now Performance is perched on this high ground in the turret form. He's got the Mercy Pocket with him as well. He's just putting out so much damage, but UTD kiting it so incredibly well so far. Arrow managing to find these picks and turn the tide of the war right now. All they have is Potatoes on the point, with Jan just getting healed up by Echo, but it's not going to be enough. UTD did manage to turn that.
Oh, and a fat shatter out of Potatoes, but I don't know if it's going to be enough here. UT Dallas does have spawn advantage. A huge turn on the side of Kinetic. Arrow able to counteract that, getting a pick of his own onto Echo, and Performance getting one last onto Louis. I mean, Performance is just drilling into these kids at this point. There's nothing they can do. They keep respawning. He's just gonna keep drilling into them.
And they just keep coming and they just keep coming. All they can do is try to stall. The beat is going to keep everybody alive for right now, but that is just a free firing range for Performance.
No.
The damage boost is there. The right click is there. Performance just completely making work of that last point. UTD, props to them for stalling it as long as they did, but Ohio making it a tied up push. Both of them completing the map.
Yeah, but I mean, that was a fantastic stall from the side of UT Dallas. I mean, even though it basically looked like a done deal from Ohio State just railing into them with the Bastion shots, I think they did a great job of bringing down that time clock. And you see 1 minute on the side of Ohio State with UT Dallas nearly having double the time.
And I mean, you think of stall picks, you think of last second fight picks, you don't expect Ash. You think you're like, okay, maybe I'll switch to Doomfist or Tracer, get to the point quicker, you know, stall a little bit of time over here. But Arrow over here, he knows what he's about. He knows he can switch to the Ash, get a ton of damage off in that backline, and I think that bought them extra critical time that they needed, dropped their time bank down to 1 minute, and now we are basically tied up on this.
Yep, and you already know Arrow likes the Cowboys, Cowgirls. He sticks with them, okay? He's not gonna switch to any May, any Reaper. No, he needs to stay on those Cowboys and Cowgirls to hold down the point. And I think UT Dallas did do a great job of at least holding them down to 1 minute on the clock.
Right. I mean, UTD, though, they still have to adapt, though. This Bastion pick has been extremely potent so far, but maybe not even going for it this time. Performance walking out on the McCree. Grab still does take Symmetra for now to try to find them a better position, maybe the same position, but UTD, they're expecting it this time. Looks like the backline is going to go ahead and get pushed right now. They are swapped forces once again here, but the shield is already almost broken for Potatoes. 37% on that Shatter online, but UTD, they got to keep poking them down. This is the only fight that Ohio State is going to get in this point. 30 seconds on the clock. Looks like Arrow rotating around the backline, and it's a critical pick onto Potatoes. No shield left alone. Arrow now has an opening firing range, pushing all the way back. Now 20 more seconds to go, but Performance doing a loop-de-loop and flanking him as well. It's going to be no more Cowboys left alive on this point, but I don't think UTD needs that now. Looks like Ohio, they have the spawn advantage coming forward, as well as the double damage window with the fire strike, and that might just be enough for them to push onto the point. The Shatter comes down as well, and all the kill feed is looking blue so far. They finally do manage to take that.
And that's going to be bad for UT Dallas right here. Potatoes and the team on that payload. I mean, UT Dallas is really just going to take a quick fight here, get them done with early on in this push. I mean, it is a snowball on this map if you get rolling in this tight corridor.
Right, they do have a bit of an early positioning. They all seem to have gotten this close spawn, and that's working out perfectly for them because Blank wants to get this May ult off as fast as possible, and it's a massive Shatter onto 5 members of Ohio State. Following up with this Blizzard is going to be enough to find themselves a few picks right now, and that might be done deal. Over time slowly ticks down. Potatoes, all you can do is try to buy yourself a few more picks, but UTD has taken control. As a decent push for Ohio, though.
Yeah, I think that was a fantastic hold on the side of UT Dallas. Yes, they gave up that first point, but the position in which they stopped the push was fantastic. Right under their arch, perfect. They're able, 2 minutes on the clock right here. If they're able to get that point really fast, they'll actually potentially have 2 more fights afterwards if they still have time and they're not immediately into OT.
Exactly. And I mean, having that May ult available to you is just so critical because you, especially when you're holding in that close range corridor, is just wipes the overtime. No one can step on the point without risking getting frozen. You either take the L and you die on the point, or you step off the point, and it's a lose-lose situation, right?
Yeah, and in that archway, it's incredibly difficult to see Louis throwing that Shatter right under the payload and getting like a stun on, I think, like 4 members of the side of Ohio State, immediately barreling into both the ult from Blank, but also just the pressure out of UT Dallas. I think it's really hard right there to really see when that Reinhardt's going to shatter, and I think Louis did a fantastic job at dropping it when he did.
Exactly. Now all the coins are on Ohio State here. All they have to do is hold them off for 1 minute and 45. It will be difficult. They don't have that far to go, but they can do it here. They do have a bit of a specialty pick on the Junkrat right now.
Yep. I was about to say, look at Grab for this. He's going to be pressuring Louis' shield immensely at the beginning and getting those picks with that mine, dealing so much damage already. But I think UT Dallas and team has to kind of push into this point, already barreling down, and both immortality fields going down instantaneously at the start of this fight.
Oh no, that is a big person to lose. Louis going down early into that fight. Too much damage coming through. They knew they had to take the fight early, but it was stalled out by those immortality fields.
It's going to be hard for UT Dallas here. It does look like they have about 2 more fights with the time bank that they have so far, but I would like to see a quick pick out of them to kind of snowball and get this payload rolling.
All right, Echo does have his ultimate online. Skolek's not going to have his for quite a while, and it looks like there goes the double damage field. Louis trying to speed straight past that, and Blank dropping the freeze onto everybody as well, trading his life for that, but Louis drops the shatter, only catches 1, but that might be all he needs. But Performance with the double kill, trying to take the fight into his own hands, and is completely shutting down everything. Performance saves the day.
He saves it indeed. I mean, a fantastic ult from the side of Blank, throwing down that blizzard, even giving Louis a free shatter on the side of UT Dallas, but Performance getting 2 crucial picks, turning the tides and making Ohio State 17 seconds on the time bank left to defend.
Last fight situation, this is all it comes down to. Performance zoning everybody out with that high noon and finding the pick onto Blank as well. Down comes the beat drop, and UTD, all they can do is sit back and watch as Ohio State barrels into them here. Arrow trying to salvage this fight with a high noon of his own, but the overtime clock is ticking down and somebody has to touch it.
No one touches, and that's quite unfortunate. UT Dallas looks like they were about to maybe potentially get a beat there. Maybe I'm mistaken, but that is unlucky. But regardless, I do think Ohio State was potentially on the best foot in that engagement.
What an incredible play from the side of Ohio State.
Like
Look at this even. Oh my goodness. That looks like Potatoes just drops the shatter onto many people there, the counter shatter. But like right there at the end, Performance just took the fight into his own hands. They knew that if they lost that fight, that was probably spelling defeat for them. They would have gotten the back spawn, but that kind of clutch play had to happen, and it did happen. Performance completely carrying that last fight for them. Ohio State now up 2-0 in this series, and we will be going to match point here in just a second. UTD, they have to change something.
Yeah, they're really going to have to change something indeed. I think the pressure coming out of Ohio State, playing these unconventional picks, like you said, the Bastion, which is kind of a pick specific to that map, right? Paired with that Symmetra, able to go everywhere, on top of the statue, behind them, everywhere. It's not a bad pick, but the Junkrat on defense is what really helped them, breaking down that Louis shield and eventually leading to the defeat and the victory on the side of Ohio State.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. Just no shield pressure from Louis means that his job is that much harder. He's not able to be as aggressive, and they can't utilize that speed boost and the healing coming out from Skolex to, push him forward and build up those shatters. Those shatters, I mean, like we saw in the defense of their point, like are completely crucial to UTD's plan here. They need those shatters to come in so that they can help wipe the squad of Ohio State, but without that pressure, Ohio State just has all the advantage.
Yeah, and I mean, I think Blank did a fantastic effort with that blizzard onto the point, but I mean, frankly, I think Performance saved the entire game at that point, getting 2 very crucial picks to UT Dallas and negating any further follow-up on the side of UT Dallas. Fantastic job from the side of Ohio State, and I think we're really going to need to see some switch up for UT Dallas here.
I mean, yeah, exactly. And I mean, we're highlighting Performance here because, of course, he's been the clutch player, the star player, but Grab has also been putting in so much work as well, especially during the phase of the game where the Bastion was your pocket strat. You have all these resources that you're just kind of pumping into this Bastion. One of the most important of those is going to be that teleporter. Keeping that Bastion on the high ground and out of reach from UTD's team, especially when they're not playing, they're playing May McCree. What are they going to do about it? They're just going to sit down on the high ground. They're going to look up at him and try to out DPS the Bastion. I don't think you can do that.
Yeah.
And so like Grab just like always was there, keeping performance in the right spot, as well as Eski just right there alongside of the Bastion, pocketing him constantly, making sure that even if he got pressured, he didn't have to move his position, he didn't have to drop from his high ground. And the entire roster of Ohio State has been, it seems like the performance show over here on one end, but Ohio State knows what they're doing. They're all contributing as a team to make this all happen.
Yeah, I think performance is doing great for Ohio State, but Ohio State's performance is even better in this one. Yan
Uh-huh.
also doing a fantastic job. I believe he was on Sigma, able to just basically shield the Bastion regardless of where they do end up teleporting to, which is an additional asset to the team. And so we're going into this third map. What would you like to see out of the side of UT Dallas to switch things up?
I'm conflicted because like I said in leading into the last map, Kings Row is where UTD's strengths lie, right? And now they've been completely dislodged. Ohio State has taken them in their comfort zone and completely just like shooking everything up. They've just messed up with UTD's head. And this is going to be a time where UTD really has to put mind to metal here, and they have to think through how they can win this game. I don't think I want to see a map like Gibraltar. We will be going to an escort map here in a second, but we do still have to see adaptation coming out of them if we want things to change.
Yeah, most definitely. But going into here shortly on this third map, like we mentioned, a 2-0 lead on the side of Ohio State, and it is going to be single elim in this tournament. So best of 5 maps. We're going into Route 66 most likely for this third map, which I think does fare a bit better for the composition that UT Dallas is running.
Right. I mean, they have to play a map, it seems, that favors that composition that they're comfortable on, because that's probably where their best chances still are. But we have to see a different bit of play style here. We have to watch for performance on those flanks. We have to watch for those pocket strategies and kind of find a way around that. And UTD is probably their best bet here. Might be reverting to like a previous meta that they used to play. I know that we saw blank on the Reaper for a little bit.
Yeah.
That could be a strong choice for them if they want to play that. I know that UTD has been very good at the Reaper comps in the past when they used to play that. Granted, I think Stasis might have been on the Reaper, but I mean,
Yeah.
you still have these options available to you. Don't have to be locked into this one composition, even if it's your best composition.
Most definitely. And I mean, at least on Route 66, we're not going to see Eski going crazy with the boops off the map. So I think that's good, at least. But regardless, their performance on the Lucio has been stellar with both the boops into their teammates, but also the peeling that they're providing for their tanks and DPS.
I don't know, Hector. I seem to recall in my head that Route 66 has this wide high ground on the right that you can just slip off of. And so
Yeah, no.
I'd be careful what you say. SK is listening, you know, and so,
Okay, my bad.
and so, but I mean, it's exactly as you said. Like, Eski has been putting in such a good performance lately, and even when they're not out here making solo plays, they're completely supporting their team. This is going to be a close match. UTD, they're going to have to really step things up here. This is going to be the match point. If they lose it here, they are going to be out of this tournament, and Ohio State will move on. But I mean, it could very well, it still has been a pretty close set, and so we could still see a few more maps out of this match.
Yeah, most definitely. But we are going to have some technical difficulties, so we will take a short break. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in so far. We'll be right back.
Welcome back. We are back shortly after that break. We have both of our teams ready, though. As a quick reminder, we are now 0-2 in the series. UTD is down these past couple maps, but both of these maps have been extremely close between Ohio State and us. And I think that this is probably going to be the decisive match here. We'll see if this is where either UTD figures out their strategy to come back into this match, or Ohio State takes the set point. And I'm joined once again by Hector.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting right into it on Route 66. Gonna see a similar yet different composition out of both teams, but we'll end up seeing if Arrow sticks onto this or not. But like you mentioned, could spell defeat for UT Dallas and a quick 3-0 victory on the side of Ohio State. But we're all here, UTD fans, rooting on our team. So we're definitely looking for that reverse sweep, and this could be a great map to start it on.
Oh, and it looks like we have a bit of a cheeky strat. I haven't seen this one in a while here. Looks like Ohio, they want to play in this little train up in the front and maybe get a bit of a close hold as Grab is on the Tracer. Haven't seen him quite on that yet, and it looks like UTD, they've kind of spotted this out a little bit. Potatoes, though, is going to find the first pick of this map so far. Louis not going to quite give up this high ground for the moment, but this hold is holding strong, for lack of a better word here. 30 seconds already burned off the clock.
Yeah, great immortality field out of the side of Echo, keeping Potatoes alive there and ending up essentially winning the fight for Ohio State, keeping this aggressive positioning, and Arrow building up that super high charge on that, just his autos drilling into enemies, doing so much damage, but Yan getting taken out of the mech form. Potatoes already with the shatter into like 4 members of UT Dallas. Immortality dropped on the side of Skullx as well as the window, and Potatoes nearing death as he edges out onto the edge of the map. Ohio State off to a fantastic defense.
And it looks like, oh my goodness, just as we said last time, Eski already finding boot picks off the side of that map. But I mean, oh my god, that shatter from Potatoes there completely turning it away. UTD, they did manage to get the cart moving a little bit, but Potatoes turning that fight all in their favor.
Yeah, Potatoes and Echoes show right here, but we will see maybe Performance and Grab getting into that. Louis able to maintain a position onto this cart and bump up on top of the gas station, going into 3, but quickly getting booped down from the side of Yan. And Louis with the shatter on the top of the gas station, knocking down 3, instantly negated from Eskies. Drop the beat, and we'll see what transcends over here.
Grab continuing this fight with that pulse bomb pick. Going down in the meantime, though, Performance just sitting up on this high ground. Another shatter coming up from Potatoes, dropping 3 once again. UTE having to back off here. Blank does commit this ultimate, but maybe a little ill-conceived here. Doesn't have the damage follow-up, and they committed so much to that fight just to end up losing it.
Yeah, I mean, Kinetic does end up getting one on the back foot of that engagement, but it is on literally the fastest character in the game, potentially, on Grab. So doesn't really matter. UT Dallas looking at 1 minute and 38 on the time bank, really needs to get something going here so that they can make sure that this ends up being a potential reverse sweep.
Exactly. And looks like we have a bit of a close hold here. Potatoes wants to be ready to drop down onto the payload. He is going to lose a lot of his shield in the meantime, but Performance having fallen early, they're going to lose out on that high noon as well. But Yan turning this fight around. 2 bulky members from UT Dallas falling to that Diva bomb. And I think that just completely shuts down this push on its own. Yan.
Like you mentioned, both the Divas putting in work here. On the back foot is Arrow, but getting good peeling from Tinspire and Yan on the left side, but it doesn't really seem like they can capitalize off that bad positioning. Arrow going forward, window dropped on the side of Echo, and he's taking some pot shots at Performance on the top of that, but a huge pick on the side to Echo, and Arrow going down, but it looks like this could be good for UT Dallas.
UTD trading out Arrow for their Lucio, but Performance continuing to put in the damage, continuing to drop people left and right. That is until Tinspire arrives at the scene. Yan, though, already putting in work as well. The Divas putting in so much of these kills as well. UTD, they have to make something work here. 24 seconds remaining, and finally Arrow is back into this fight and can continue putting out the damage. I think they might have this point finally.
Yep, good staggers from both Arrow and Blank to take down Kinetic, or rather Echo, sorry. But a great job for UT Dallas to at least get this first point and keep the cart rolling. But I mean, regardless, Ohio State should be very happy with how that defense held down.
Right, and they do still have a few ultimates coming into this next fight as well. Yan with another Diva Bomb almost ready. Could be another huge one as well. UTD has a bank of ultimates to work with as well. Arrow might try to initiate
Yeah.
this high ground fight, but Performance kind of just pushing him back for the moment.
6 ults almost online for the side of UT Dallas. We'll see which one they end up using first. Skolix taking a quick pick onto Performance, and Potatoes on the low ground here might get punished for it, but it looks like UT Dallas kind of blocked it.
Oh no!
Oh
That's
my
so
goodness.
sad. Potatoes going for the pin, trying to shut down that high noon play, but Louis right there, the defensive barrier, the defensive charge to put him down, just lets Arrow get the free execution there.
And this is perfect. This is exactly what UT Dallas wanted to do. They are going to be looking at this second point. Most likely Ohio State will touch it, but potentially not. It looks like they will do so.
Right, they're going to try to get a last-second stall out here, but they don't have any ultimates to work with. This is all UTD's game right now to mess up. Blank has this May ultimate. He's got to watch for Yan, and he's going to drop it behind enemy lines for the moment. Yan does go for that beat drop, rather the Diva Bomb, but doesn't quite catch as many people as he did last time. UTD slowly rolling this cart forward. The bomb not effective. Arrow putting people down in that kill feed until his last dying breath.
Yeah, I mean, and that was fantastic. Both ultimates used from UT Dallas as supports, which is not too bad because we're going into this last one. I think they're able to use those two, Fat Shatter and the Diva Bomb, to their advantage. But Potatoes has a Shatter of his own, and SK with the drop of beat could be huge here.
Right, both of these Reinhardt stare at each other across the high grounds. Potatoes does take a stance trying to move towards this point, and he gets the shatter off. It's going to land onto 4 more people once again. Potatoes does get caught out by this Maywall though, and will pay with it with his life. Tinspire drops the Diva Bomb, and no shield is available to stop that from detonating onto Echo. It's going to be UTD in the kill feed. What a big bait from that shatter.
Yeah, I mean, that Shatter was fantastic from Potatoes, but UT Dallas on the winning end of it, and Performance and Yan kind of getting staggered in that one, frankly.
It's unfortunate. Now UTD, they've got a bit of an advantage. They could press Ohio State back into their spawn doors just a little bit. They have control of the high ground. Arrow will pop the Deadeye, trying to get some value out of that. Will at least push back people for the time being. No one's pushing the cart for the side of UT Dallas yet. Maybe they just want to win this fight quickly before they go for that. Louis is looking for this shatter menacingly. He wants payback right now, and he's landing it down. It's gonna hit a shield though. Nobody caught in the line of sight of that. Performance wants to come back out with this Deadeye of his own, and this is the last hold that they've got. 1 minute remaining.
Both ults left dumped from the side of UT Dallas. And, I mean, Grab and Performance getting shoved into their spawn practically. Tinspire, Arrow, Kinetic, everyone's getting involved with these kills, leaving UT Dallas with 48 seconds on the time bank going into the defense.
That's not a bad time bank on this last point. It's even hard to get the capture in the first place for the last point of Route 66. So UTD with a very good push moving for that last fight. I think that they started to change up their playstyle a little bit, which is exactly what they kind of needed to do here. UTD, they had a bit of a plan. Even though Potatoes got that big shatter on, they kind of baited the side of Ohio in, waiting for them to collapse into their team so that they could collapse themselves.
Yeah, and I think I'd like to highlight Tinspire here. I think he's doing a fantastic job of kind of playing a little more aggressive than the last two maps. I think Route 66 does great for Diva, able to get onto different high grounds really easily and negating any damage coming out of Performance from that high noon with the defensive matrix. So I like how Tinspire is playing this one. Although a fantastic aggressive play on the defense from Ohio State, I think UT Dallas did a fantastic job as well.
Right, I mean, the Divas have definitely showcased this match so far. Yen also putting in so much damage themselves, and I think that back and forth we're just seeing the McCrees get a ton of picks, that is, until the Divas kind of step up, and I mean, maybe that's why Divas got a police officer skin, right? You know, shut down all the aggression from the Vigilante Cowboys, but coming into this match, it looks like we might be seeing a Symmetra.
And a similar aggressive play from UT Dallas, which is looking good, but grab, switching over to that Junkrat is very, very interesting on this aggressive push.
Right, Inspire doesn't want to let that happen. Is just staring him down in the spawn door. I don't think he quite managed to get through that teleporter for the moment. They do have, Ohio State has some high ground over UTD right now, but UTD is doing a great job of stalling out this point and not letting anybody touch it. Skolites is going to get the pick onto Performance, but a saved pin is going to go down for Potatoes getting aggressed onto, and Skolites just on all him in the kill feed, putting in the damage himself.
Yeah, I mean, UT Dallas is thinking, you know, you guys want to play this aggressive? You know, checkmate. We'll do it as well. Holding Ohio State in their spawn as well. 3 minutes on the clock for Ohio State, so nothing too concerning, but they're actually staying on that Junkrat, not just raining down bombs and all those things into that train. But here comes the out of Echo.
Exactly. Looks like UTD, they do want to play a bit more defensively here. Arrow sneakily pulling out the high noon. Not going to quite buy himself anything with that one. And a shatter once again onto 3 members. Potatoes putting down everybody from the side of UTD. And that might finally open up this first point for Route 66.
Arrow almost catching off Potatoes, and he does so. Potentially a flipped fight from the side of UT Dallas. Arrow not able to get that kill on Performance, and it does look like Ohio State, although some valiant picks on the side of UT Dallas, is going to be winning this engagement.
You know, Arrow just wants to send a message. You know, he knows the fight is lost there. He's got to trade with his life onto Performance. He's got to give himself a little bit of the ego and put down a Performance. It's all a mental game, right? But you're right. Ohio State, they do finally get this cart moving. 2 minutes on the board right now, but Blank does have his May freeze coming into this next fight.
Right, and I think both sides have an immense pool of ultimates coming up. Blank potentially throwing down this blizzard, going sky high as he gets sent to the skies, but throwing that down on the payload. And Potatoes not able to escape, but Grab and Yan comboing both of those huge Riptire and Diva bombs to get 2 huge picks leading into this fight.
Big detonations lead to big kills here, and all that's left standing is UTD with their tank presence on the point. Performance shutting that down quickly and progressing this cart forward. Ohio State, they did get the value out of those ultimates that they needed. Grab finally putting in work with the Junkrat for that fight.
Most definitely, and I mean, already at 43% back on that. It's the power of Junkrat able to just basically rain down those bombs onto the enemies and get so much ultimate percentage, but UT Dallas smartly giving them that point rather, and able to, I mean, it looked bad. It looked like a potentially questionable hold, but I think basically a 30-second differential on both of those holds, so not too bad from UT Dallas.
Exactly, and I mean, 3 minutes and 24 seconds isn't anything too shabby, but UTD, they have a very close and aggressive hold right now with a bunch of ultimates in the bank to follow it with. Louis looking for a shatter once again. Big window comes through to try to push off the side of Ohio, and it's going to land onto Potatoes. That wall blocking him away from all the heals that he could potentially get there. UTD pushing him back for the moment.
And that was a fantastic wall from the side of Blank, basically able to narrow out and tunnel that Potatoes, and I mean, that spelled defeat for him, frankly. But a fat shatter from Louis into the corridor, able to just swing his hammer, getting that immortality field, dropping both SK, Echo, and nothing more of that fight will happen.
Oh no, that's so unfortunate. You try to rotate into that right room where you have that defensive advantage, but without your Reinhardt there to block that shatter, looks like Potatoes is gonna try to have to take this back to UTD, land himself quite another shatter. We've seen many big ones come down. Looks like Arrow's gonna try to push away everybody with this Deadeye for the moment. That high ground is no longer theirs, and Grab found himself at the wrong place at the wrong time here. Now Arrow has this high ground control, and all he has to do is look down in the point-and-click adventure. Yan does trade him out in the end, but I think that this will be a hard fight to win for Ohio.
Yan kind of just throwing out that Diva bomb into the sky. Grab actually able to get a pick off of that. We will see Ohio State dropping that window and potentially actually winning this fight on the back foot. Does look like they have the spawn advantages for the time being, and Ohio State able to get this cart moving once more.
Once UTD got comfortable with that fight and they thought that they had the advantage, they just got a little too greedy there, and Louis let that shatter slip right past them, let himself get pinned into that corner, and that just won the fight for Ohio State. And now Potatoes has perched himself up on this high ground in preparation for the next fight.
Yeah, we're going to be looking at Tinspire, Blink, and Kinetic for this next fight, as well as Louis potentially getting his Shatter online. Grab, not getting anything out of the Ripfire, and getting slaughtered by a Tinspire. Arrow also getting a pick onto Eski. This is looking great for UT Dallas.
Oh, Big B coming through to keep this aggression strong for the side of UT Dallas. They push forward. Blank doesn't even need to commit this May freeze here, and he can save it for this next and potentially last fight as 54 seconds on the clock remain. Ohio State, they're only going to have a few moments to regather their resources before trying to take this final fight.
But look at the ult advantage on the side of UT Dallas here. Potatoes only one really close to his ult, or rather with the ult, but UT Dallas getting almost 5 ults online for this next engagement. Even if it splits into 2 fights potentially, they're going to be on the winning foot here as far as ultimate advantage.
Right, in comes the high noon. We've seen this once before, and we'll see it again. It's Echo going down this time to the high noon. Dead-eyed, a big shatter onto the backline. Doesn't quite catch anybody, but 4 people down for the side of UT Dallas from Potatoes, trying to turn the fight on his own. Arrow continuing to get picks, though. Potatoes, it's not enough this time. It's not enough people down on the ground. Performance, last person standing for the side of Ohio State, and Tinspire flushes him out. All that they can do is try to touch, but no one will make it. UTD with the turnaround.
And I don't want to call it too soon, but this is a potential reverse sweep. UT Dallas needed this to stay alive in the Overwatch Championship Cup playoffs. Looks fantastic for them. I think it was an all-around great switch up in how they played that map. I think, like you mentioned, UT Dallas needed to do something different, and I think that they brought that on Route 66.
Absolutely. And I mean, like, you just see so much better ultimate coordination, and you don't see, importantly, them falling to the same tricks that Ohio was playing before. You don't have the same sort of one-off, one-player plays having such a big impact there. UTD felt a lot more comfortable in playing together, and once they got the momentum going, they didn't really lose it there.
Yeah, and I mean, that was a fantastic shatter from the side of Potatoes, but Arrow doing a great job as well, shutting that down instantaneously and getting on the winning foot of that one with 2 more picks to follow it up, giving UT Dallas that win on Route 66, making it a 2-1 Ohio State advantage.
And I mean, Louis found himself some big shatters this game, but too. But like
Definitely.
you would think that after 5 4-man plus shatters on the side of Potato, you'd get something, right? But like absolute superstar over here putting in the damage there. But I don't think that they have the resources ready all the time to punish or rather follow up on that shatter.
Yeah, I mean UT Dallas doing a great job, frankly, on how they played that map. I just want to highlight specifically the DPS. I think they did a fantastic job. Performance and grab maybe not looking as good on that map, but I don't think they played poorly. I think it was just great play out of the UT Dallas DPS.
Exactly. And I mean, it is more difficult on maps such as Route 66 to try to get value out of the Junkrat, even though a few different fights, the tire is winning them and these engagements and stuff. It is so difficult to reliably get the Junkrat spam damage where you want it. When the map is so open, you can always move to somewhere else. You can kind of see the nades coming, and you're not forced through these choke points like on a map like Hanamura or like a map like Kings Row, right?
Yeah, and you saw that Ohio State was kind of rotating into those tight corridors, maybe giving the advantage to Junkrat on a otherwise open map. But I do think that UT Dallas was very quick to adjust to that, killing Potatoes, making sure they didn't have a shield going into that, and essentially spelling defeat for Ohio State.
Right, and they're gonna have to continue that presence going forward here. Again, it is 2-1. This is single elim match. Whoever loses here will be knocked out of this tournament. This is the round of 16. Whoever makes it goes on to the next match later today. But for the moment, I mean, UTD, they do definitely have a shot here. This is playing for almost all the marbles. They don't have a moment to let up right now. If they, for even just one map, are losing it here, they lose the entire series. They lose the entire playoffs.
Most definitely. So this is a huge map to win for UT Dallas to potentially give them that reverse sweep potential. We do want to see everyone cheering on in the chat for UT Dallas. Obviously, majority of the people watching are going to be UT Dallas fans, but I mean, regardless, Ohio State doing a great job in this set as well. So for anyone watching on their side, props to you guys for doing fantastic work as well.
We're going on to everybody's favorite game mode, 2CP. Looks like the map of choice will here be Temple of Anubis. The lesser of the sins, right? You have I would claim that Temple is one of the more accepted 2CP maps here, at least that I'm
Not
having played.
Horizon, not Horizon. I think that
I
map is loved.
I don't know about that. Listen, I love space. Don't get me wrong.
I don't. I hate
I
it.
have like a space wallpaper on my phone. I have my pictures of like a space theme, and like I looked up to a bunch of like astronauts all growing up. I do not like Horizon.
It's just such a difficult map to play on. I mean, Temple of Anubis, frankly, even as unbalanced as I'd say it is, I think it's the most balanced out of all of them.
Yeah, you have the most opportunities here, and I mean, throw back to metas of old where we used to watch Widowmakers come out on these points and the high ground get abused, and like old style bunker strategies. I don't think we're going to be seeing any of that today. Although I think that this map might be a better pick if we do see grab on the Junkrat coming in, because like you're going to be still forced through these choke points like I was talking about, and that's going to lead to much more consistent ultimate building and much more consistent ultimate kills too.
Yup, and performance going Widowmaker, not sure if it's just for scouting or if they are going to end up picking it up here, but that could be a huge pick. Not what UTD has been running recently, especially with Arrow and Blank on the roster, but it will be the same composition coming out of UT Dallas. Staying true to their roots, staying true to the meta, and I mean they had great performance on other maps. Even the two that they ended up falling to, it was close sets. But going into Temple of Anubis, let's see what happens here.
Oh, it looks like we're seeing a dangerous threat coming out from Ohio here. Performance pulling out the Bastion once again right now, seeing if they can maybe get into a better position, seeing if UTD has learned their lesson here and maybe can shut this down a little bit harder. Arrow for now just poking into the backline, trying to pressure out picks and almost finding Echo. Eventually he does take him out, and that is a big healing source lost from the side of Ohio. They do end up losing one more there, and all that's left is Grab trying to get some picks into the backline for the moment. UTD holds strong for now.
Yeah, we'll see if UTD can get these staggering picks. Diva in the skies right now. Yan potentially able to get back to his team in time, which is good, so he won't get demeched. But
ooh, you almost see him go down there. Kinetic wants that blood.
He wanted it. Kinetic, well known for going deep for those kills, but unfortunately, it doesn't seem like he did. Ohio State full resetting on this one. Still 3 minutes to get that first point, so I don't think they're too worried about it. Going to the side room here and see what happens.
Right, Louis does have this shatter online. We'll see if we can make work of it, and it's gonna go down. It does still actually manage to land onto Grab, but a big wall is going to prevent any further follow-up there. A big window from the side of Ohio State is going to pressure out, but Skullx with some damage of his own. He doesn't even need the window going through. Actually, he's going to go ahead and utilize that. Count me wrong, but Louis gonna be stuck in this room all alone with that wall. Not gonna be able to get through, but won't matter. The damage isn't there to continue the follow-up. UTD holds once again.
I mean, I forgot to tell you, Skullx is actually signing in for the DPS role next season.
Yes.
Skullx on the Baptiste doing a great job of healing his team. A fat shatter coming out of Potatoes, not able to get anything because of an even better beat dropped by Kinetic, stopping the push from Ohio State and kind of staggering this, but Yan with a pulse bomb, or rather the Diva bomb in the sky, able to get that kill onto Louis, but great trades from UT Dallas.
And it's unfortunate you can't eat a Mayo while your Diva is bombing right there. It looks like the last of the few resources that Ohio State have is being cornered into this little side room, into the firing range. There's just one poor Reinhardt and his healers is not going to be enough. That's going to have to be a reset there. Lots of ultimates going down, though.
And Arrow doing a fantastic job with those shots on McCree, able to basically shut down a lot of these pushes from Ohio State and picking off when that Baptiste is going a little too high with that jump. He's able to just absolutely take Echo out of the field and force it into a 5v6, but a lot of ults coming out on the side of Ohio State. They're going to be looking to get something here on the high ground.
Right, they do decide finally that they want to try to take this right flank over here, try to get a point presence above the point. Performance drops this high noon, see if he can find anything with that, but he does still want to stay up on this high ground, so he's not going to drop for it. Looks like UTD, they have a high noon of their own coming in, and now that Ohio's on the state, Ohio's on the point, they can find some picks using that, but Louis getting over committed there, that double damage barrier melting through all 550 of his health points. Looks like Grab gotta throw down the May Freeze into the Tinspire Diva Matrix.
And that might help UT Dallas slightly, but it does look like Arrow, even though he's getting this pick onto Potatoes, they're kind of on the back foot here. Arrow able to actually hold this with all of his teammates alongside him, barring Louis. And Louis coming in, swinging the hammer. Maybe he'll go for the Lucio here with a pin. Who knows?
Okay, Arrow, I think that might have been a little overkill there, but I'm sure you just wanted to win the point. What a great hold. 5 seconds remaining. We'll see if they can even get a touch coming into the point here. It looks like the flash game is going to stop that, and 86% is the percent to beat.
And I wasn't even looking at the time bank at that point. So much action going back and forth, but UT Dallas doing a great job of holding that point, basically shutting Ohio State down and not even able to touch the point. And I mean, this is great for UT Dallas. They're looking at 4 minutes on the clock to potentially only get a little over 90% on the point. So this is great.
Exactly, not even there, and they have such a strong synergy recently. Arrow, especially this last point, has just been putting in damage consistently. If there's anything you can count on, it's that Arrow will be hitting those shots, even if it's just the body shots to get that consistent damage off. He's always pulling through with that, and it looks like that might just be what buys them this win here if they get it. Will be up to Ohio State here. They have to pull off a big defense if they want to win this map.
And Blank potentially going over to that Ash, that would be exciting to watch, but potentially just scouting with those long sight lines that she has right here in spawn. But regardless, Temple of Anubis, notably one of the quicker maps. You can have some 5-minute matches, so we can see if UT Dallas can wrap things up going into game 3, or rather game 5, with a strong mentality. But 5 seconds on the clock, Blank looks like he's going to switch back to that May.
Listen, I'm the biggest Blank fan that exists, and not one time have I ever seen this man pull out the Ash, so it's unfortunate. I don't think we'll get to see that today. Looks like UTD, they do want to make work of this Symmetra here. That wall is going to buy Ohio some time to get in some poke damage, but everybody alive for UTD at the moment. Straight to the point they go. The Symmetra buying them some damage. Potato's shield dropping extremely quickly, and he's going to have to make a quick work of this fight if they want to win this. Louis backing out to his team, but Skullx dropping Potatoes down as well. No Reinhardt's now alive in this fight. Ohio has found the control that they needed and finally can start to win this. They might even stagger out Tinspire.
Yeah, and although they did get a great pick, Ohio State just able to win that whole engagement and reset onto this defensive position. 3 minutes left on the time bank. Like we mentioned, UT Dallas only having to get just under 3 ticks, which is the full point, but they are able to do so, slowly climbing those ultimate percentages. Skullx gonna have that online as well as Blank here soon.
Right, and I mean, despite dying quickly into that fight, Potatoes is extremely up in ult percentage here, 90%. He only needs a couple shots, but Skullx has built the first ultimate of this game and will pressure out Potatoes with that arrow, utilizing it as well to take out Echo, and a beat is necessary to keep everybody alive for the moment. Looks like Performance wants to try to get some value out of this. Oh, high noon, but nobody is going to be downed in the shatter, and that wall stands strong from Blank, keeping everybody alive there. Skullx taking yet another name under his belt here. Blank throwing the ult into this corner that Ohio has to cower in, and I think that might just spell defeat for Ohio State on this Temple of Anubis.
Grab able to actually get a pick. The only person that could potentially touch is Echo, and it looks like UT Dallas is going to be victorious on Temple of Anubis, taking it to a game 5.
Absolutely. This is the Overwatch that we came here to see. This is the highest level of competitive Overwatch that's available right now. Overwatch League isn't on yet, okay.
But let's see the DPS out of Skullx over here.
Oh my goodness.
maybe 2. I mean, he's just lasering into these people. Absolute menace on this map. And I think it's a great map to have a Baptiste on, able to get to that high ground super fast with his jump. And I think UT Dallas played their composition perfectly.
Exactly. It's like it's the faster you deal damage, the faster you build your ultimates, and the more that you can enable players like Louis and Arrow to also deal damage through that window if Skullx isn't just going to utilize it himself. But we
Yeah.
will be right back here in just a second. We're going to get to a map 5. This is going to be the last and final map of this series. Go to a control point. Stay with us. We will be right with you. This is the final showdown of this match. 2-2 UTD versus Ohio State. Both teams have been putting up an incredible performance, and this is the decisive map here. Joined by Hector once again. We'll be going to Oasis here in just a second to see who will be moving on in the playoffs.
And this is such an exciting playoff match. I think regardless of what the outcome is, everyone watching at home can be excited and cheering both teams on because this is just a phenomenal set. But obviously, UT Dallas at the heart of all of us here on production team.
Absolutely. I think everybody here is hoping to see Arrow just click a few little heads, but Ohio State definitely has been deserving the wins that they've gotten so far. Looks like UTD rolling out on their standard composition. No changes here, but it looks like Ohio State wants to roll more of a divey and tracer kind of comp.
Yeah, Potatoes on that ball and performance and grab running the tracer and Farah could be a little difficult for UT Dallas, but they are going to be kind of nearing point here. Performance on this off angle, just taking pot shots, grabbing, or rather charging up that ultimate, and we kind of just see a default play here for both teams.
Exactly. UTD, they don't want to take too much poke before they have to contest the cart, and so when this point unlocks is when Louis is going to step onto the point here. Now finally Grab can get a bit more of the spam damage in here that he wants. He's going to try to build up that barrage. He's already 50% on his way to, but Arrow looking to try to find picks of his own. It looks like Eski commits a little too hard there getting a boop, but he trades their life for it as well. Now UTD is standing at an advantage here.
Oh.
Grab gets caught out and will trade with their life. I don't think that Ohio has the resources for this fight.
Yeah, I agree with you. Both Eski and Grab going down. At this point, it's all UT Dallas to take down the enemies and capture that first tick onto the point.
Finally, the point does get captured there. They did do a good job. However, Ohio State has a ton of ultimates coming online as well. UTD with a bank of ultimates of their own here, but Arrow, importantly with this high noon, is probably going to start finding a lot more value, especially against this Farah Mercy comp.
Most definitely. Taking this high ground, Arrow going to be ending up popping that ultimate, and Deadeye, will it get anyone? Doesn't get that Hammond, but able to get the pick right after. Watch out for the mines on the floor, but Kinetic here to drop the beat, saving his allies and making sure that they are staying healthy.
Oh, Rocket Barrage is only going to find one pick, and that is straight on to Grab themselves there. It doesn't matter. It is enough of a distraction to let the rest of Ohio State continue to get picks onto this point, and now it is only Tinspire remaining, trying to stay alive on this point before it finally flips to Ohio State.
And not too shabby for UT Dallas, 46% on that point. Still nothing to scoff at, but coming strong here with 6 members. We are going to say 3 ultimates on the side of UT Dallas, both on the tanks and on Blank. Super big ults to have on such a big point like this on the map we are currently playing.
Right, and it might be a little bit difficult for Louis to get value out of this shatter, but Tinspire gets a ton of value out of being able to bomb the duo Farah Mercy in the air. We'll see if they end up going for that. Shatter does land onto Potatoes, and no longer will he be in this fight. Looks like the high noon combined with that Diva Bomb is going to force Echo and Grab to fall as well. Looks like finally UTD, they do manage to get value out of these ultimates, but they did have to commit all 3 of those that they had.
Nonetheless, a great job. Do want to take care of Potatoes on that rat to make sure that they keep this point advantage. And I think this at this point is just staggering to get extra percentage, which is fantastic from Ohio State, but UT Dallas able to regain possession of the point and going above 50% now.
Exactly, and we'll have to see if Potatoes can find any value here. He did distract for a little bit, but UTD seemed to be very punishing, and it's very hard in composition that has both May and McCree to get any value. The stun coming out there as well, proving just that. Louis does take a bit of damage from those minefield mines. Blank drops a Mayfreeze, not gonna be enough. Grab taking 3, make it 4 kills with that Rocket Barrage, turning the point completely around.
Yeah, 3 ults expended on the side of Ohio State does grant them the point there, but not too bad. UT Dallas able to get another 30% onto the point, and all respawning together. So at least they can get back to point really fast. We'll see what UT Dallas and the boys can do here.
Right, looking like Arrow pushing into this point. He's almost got this high noon online, which will be pretty critical looking at grab here. Potatoes dropping that ham and slam, getting Arrow into the air, but no follow-up damage is ready. Skullleg's taking out Eski. That's half the healing gone for the side of Ohio, and now Kinetic has amped everybody's health up to maximum with that beat drop. They do have control of the point, but Ohio State's kind of just stalling them out for the moment, at least long enough to buy themselves some percentage, but eventually UTD will take the flip on this point.
Yeah, not quite getting to that 99 that Ohio State was wanting to get, but at least they are at that 97, able to potentially win if they do flip it. But UT Dallas coming up to about 4 ultimate abilities, meanwhile Ohio State almost 5.
Right, Louis has the shatter in hand, and we'll see if it falls onto Potatoes once again, but already Yen has lost their mech. It's already gone. They have to commit the Diva Bomb, and the shatter goes down onto Potatoes. Only one tank on the side of Ohio State is alive, and it's Yen without a Diva Bomb to re-mech here. Louis putting in so much work. The boot onto Yen, just completely shutting down the fight. Looks like Louis completely carried at 99%. All they can do is stare at everybody else as they take all this damage. Performance has to make it work all on their own, but Tinspire doesn't want to let that happen. Eski trying to stall out the last few percentage, but the beat drop isn't there, and UTD takes the first round.
Louis throwing the whole team on his back shoulder, said, listen, I got this one. I'll boop 2 members. We're good. Don't worry about it. Taking the first round on the map and able to get an advantageous position for UT Dallas going into this second round.
You wouldn't even think that Reinhardt would have a lot of impact in this top. You have listen, you have a Pharah in the air who you can't touch. You have the Mercy following them that they can't touch. Theoretically, like, Louis shouldn't be able to hit anybody in this comp, but he's just sitting there on point, smacking his hammer around, just getting ignored. And, you know, when you ignore an 85 damage DPS, Reinhardt is gonna get value.
Yeah, Louis doing a fantastic job, able to secure that first round, but going to the second round, a little bit different of a point. We'll see if this Reinhardt can be as effective on this one, but same composition coming out of the side of UT Dallas, and same for Ohio as well.
Right, they do still want to get value out of this Pharah here. They know that they can get a bunch of spam damage off, and that barrage is almost invaluable against a brawly comp like this, but Performance taking matters into their own hands, taking out Arrow early into these fights and forcing UTD to back up.
Yeah, fantastic pick from Performance onto the side of Arrow, essentially negating any push for UT Dallas, but it is going to be point possession for Ohio State.
They do take that first point, and they do have a bunch of ultimates about halfway. This is still going to be a pretty neutral fight coming into this next point, and I think that favors itself to the side of Ohio on this defense here. UTD, they're taking this close left corner. They don't want to be taking too much poke from Grab here, but Grab continually putting down the damage at range.
UT Dallas, it's going to be hard for them. There's so many targets up in the sky. You see Grab, Echo, and even Eski going onto that wall, riding high, but here comes the window out of Skull. It's a ginormous barrage, but it gets instantly shut down by both Blink and Tinspire, able to shut that down, but it looks like Ohio State is in the winning foot of this fight.
He had the perfect position for that, but just didn't quite have the barrage online early enough to capitalize there. Did still get a pick and did still distract long enough for Potatoes and his whole minefield to just completely shred UTD's backline.
Most definitely. Potentially a big 4 to 5 man barrage there, but instantly getting shut down. Did not end up how UT Dallas wanted it, but Blank switching over to the Sombra. We'll see how this does for them. Stuck is Arrow, but a great immortality field from Skulllex.
Oh
provides
no!
protection, and Arrow getting a pick onto Grab, instantly getting resurrected from Echo.
Right, and Grab now has the advantage with this high ground. He's got all the damage, he's got the pocket and the beat drop as well to save his life there. And UTD, they have to give this one up here. This is a last fight situation if they even get that at 85%. Louis
and Tinspire fighting in the streets like they're kids in the neighborhood. This is gonna be hard for UT Dallas. 92% and counting here. They're gonna have one last touch, potentially gonna be Blink. the one touching the point here for UT Dallas. We do have 3 ultimate abilities though. 99%
Oh.
overtime ticking. Do they touch? They do.
And it looks like Grab wants to make a bit of a cheeky play, but is now left alone. They've got no health left alive. 2 in the air, and Louis dropping a shatter and finding the pick onto him. Blank sees him with that half health fight. In the overtime, almost chicks out. This is a last-second fight that UTD has to win here, but Potatoes continually finding value out of those mines. UTD, they only have a few members left alive on this point, Blank included, but nobody is going to be able to put up with all the spam damage.
And exactly like you mentioned it, Louis touching the point with ball, but not able to really do anything with it. And although Louis had a fantastic shatter onto 3 members from Ohio, we have the performance, both from performance and Grab putting in work, and Potatoes getting about 3 picks as well with that minefield.
Right, and this is ideal scenario for Ohio State right now. They've put it to a 1-to-1 right there. That map was absolutely favoring their comp, but now it's UTD's time to step up. This is the close range comp. This is where Louis can really find his value. Arrow can really get some left click value because no one can really hide on that point. And I think it's going to be up to Ohio to see if they can match this here.
Exactly like you said, UT Dallas, Blank going back to that May pick. This is it. This is what spells everything for UT Dallas and Ohio State. This is what it comes down to. Junkrat on the side of Ohio State is an interesting and impressive pick like they did previously, so we'll see how it fares out in this close combat.
Right, it's pushing the side of UT Dallas back, and they're almost probably wishing they had Tinspire on that Diva right now, but he is going to be able to get a ton of charge out of those bubbles, out of Grab on that Junkrat. Looks like Ohio State, for the moment, has a bit of control over this high ground. Kinetic trying to change that, though, and pushing them all off. Immortality Field already committed for the side of Ohio, but they don't really want that. They just want this high ground.
Both tanks getting extremely low on the side of Ohio State. Arrow able to get that pick onto Potatoes, and out of nowhere, Grab already has his bomb. I mean, at that point, you realize that that end is huge, but Skolex coming with another pick, performance 2 of his own, and it does look like UT Dallas is able to capitalize and get the point.
They do take the point here, but it is not a fight over yet. Ohio is still in this. That is until Louis comes back into the fray, throwing that fire strike straight down the middle lane and catching 3 with that, almost having built the entirety of his shatter right there.
Exactly, and point at 30% now, ticking up. It's going to be Ohio State to touch this and turn the tides of this fight, but Arrow dropping that high noon, zoning out some enemies, and a huge pick onto Eski. Echo almost going down as well, has to drop that immortality field, and Louis Skolex, and I mean Skolex again just going in, getting those picks, and that is going to be it for that fight.
UTD is playing a game of who can touch the spawn door here first, and I think they are winning. It looks like Arrow has gotten almost a third of his ult already back here, and Louis over here on the sideline just looking for a little bit, but is caught out a little bit too early here. Does manage to get back to his team, but the window completely denied, just running around that corner there. Ohio State, they do buy themselves the point, and they buy themselves a 4-man shatter as well. Inspired puts everybody up to the wall with that Graviton Surge, and Grab trading his life just so we can get that tire off. Kinetic keeping everybody alive with the beat drop, and everybody on the side of Ohio is just falling over and over again. 80%.
80% and counting, both performance and Grab using their ultimate abilities into this one. They're going into this last fight only with SK and Yan's ult. Let's see what they can do with it. It is more ults than UT Dallas has, but with the point ticking to 95 now, they're gonna have to touch.
Louis can maybe turn this all on his own here with this Earth Shatter. He's got it ready, and the stun comes down. 3 members down from the side of Ohio State, and Grab falls early. Yan taking out Skolex in the pick. That is no healing left for UT Dallas. That might be just what they need here. Arrow alive in the backline, has this high noon ready, but everybody is collapsing into the right room, and Potatoes got the hammer ready as well. Looks like the overtime is ticking down, but 99% towards UT Dallas means that this is a close one for Ohio. They have to hold it the entire time.
An absolute nail biter. Both DPS on the side of UT Dallas do have their ultimates, with Tinspire as well coming charging at 82%. I think frankly at this point UT Dallas really just looking to either get a pick and steamroll off of it, or just wait until they have the ultimate economy and just dump everything at once.
Right, Echo has to find value out of this window here. This is the only ultimate that they've gotten. Arrow forcing everybody away from it, using this high noon for the moment. Shield goes down for Potatoes here, but he doesn't care. He's almost got the Shatter online. He's gonna drop it, doesn't catch anybody. Tinspire and Blank comboing their ultimates here, and everybody caught in the middle. That is so many picks for the side of UTD. All that they can do on Ohio is hope that Grab finds some vital picks. He has to turn everything around right now for them. Otherwise, it is over. UT Dallas all in the kill feed right now. And I think that might just be it. All that they can do is hope to stall the point as overtime ticks down. That is a victory for UT Dallas.
And they do it, although on the back foot in the first two maps, a clean 3-2 victory from UT Dallas, doing fantastic. Ohio State, I will give them the props. They did fantastic as well, but UT Dallas able to secure that victory and continue on in the Overwatch Collegiate Cup playoffs.
Absolutely well played from both teams. This was an incredibly fun and close match to watch. Props to Ohio. They did so well with their team, and they had a lot of creative strats, but UTD did manage to pull the comeback all the way back from down 2-0 in the series. What an incredible game for UTD.
At that point, I was standing up in my chair. I was panicking. It was all on the line. Louis and the team holding it down, not letting us down as well. And I think just a valiant effort from Ohio State, but UT Dallas doing a great job to get that victory.
Exactly. Thank you guys all for joining us. Remember, this was the round of 16 in our playoffs. UTD will continue to play later on today. Catch us very soon. I think our match is scheduled for 6 p.m. Just be on the lookout for that. This is still single elim, and if we win this next match, we will be going on tomorrow. Thank you guys all for joining us today. We appreciate all of you guys watching, and we will see you soon.
Take it easy.